should go back in time to when you didn't think you know better. I can make you change your mind.
Righto, welcome back to the channel, guys. Hello, please don't stare at me. Welcome back to the Grouse 4x4. This week we're going to be doing a rig rundown on my 80 series. I'm going to be explaining to you guys exactly what I've done to get it to where I am now. We'll go with the motor, which is how I actually got the car. So it's a 1HZ turbo. It's a 1993 80 series Land Cruiser GXL. It has a factory 1HZ in it. If you know Toyotas, you know the 1HZs are reliable, but they don't have a whole heap of power through them. So when I actually got the car, it came with the turbo already on it. It had about 10 PSI running through it. It was a bit, but going bigger tyres and bigger tyres again, you sort of need that bit more power. So I've upped it to 18 PSI, which is sort of right on the limit of that turbo. It's got an intercooler in it. I believe it's a HPD intercooler. Factory gearbox, there's nothing done with that. I've recently done the clutch. If you've watched my videos, you would have seen me doing the clutch. I put one in that's rated for 800 Newton meters of torque, which I definitely do not have. So it should be perfectly fine. It has a transfer case that comes out of an 80 series. I believe it's like a H2FA or something along those lines. Now, the transfer case I have done work too. So I've put reduction gears in it, which is a 25% reduction gears. They're about $700, $800 from Marks, or there's a couple places you can buy it through. Roadrunner, you can get them through there. And then I also did some high range gears. So I've changed the high range gears as well. What that benefits is the fact, instead of changing the diff gears and losing strength in your pinion, because the higher the diff gear you go, the smaller your pinion becomes, which the weaker in turn it becomes, easier to brake. So I've changed the high range gears and left the diff gears as 4.1s. So it has 4.1 diff gears in it, which are factory. And then it sort of gives me like a 4.5 diff gear ratio now. I do rev a bit higher on the highway, but come to wheeling and stuff, it does give me a lot more benefits down low when I need it. The diffs have been rebuilt with solid pinion spacers. That's one main thing to look for in an 80 series Land Cruiser. The crush spacers will eventually fail and cause your diff to blow up, which I've been there, done that. If you've watched my channel, I've done a front and a rear diff. Another thing to watch out for in an 80 series, try not to do much reverse, because they're not a reverse diff. That's how you blow them to smithereens, and it's exactly what I did. But I learned from my mistakes, and I'm trying to give you the idea so you guys learn from my mistakes. They are Harrop E-lockers, front and rear. They've been good so far. I haven't had many problems with them, which is great. I think eventually in the future I will go to air lockers. The only reason that I have at the moment is when doing your technical wheeling, if I have to reverse, I have to reverse quite a bit to make sure my lockers re-engage before I get back up. With an air locker, you don't have that problem. You just literally flick it and they're locked. Reverse, forward, back, side, left, right, whatever you want to do, they're locked, which is great. So yeah, we'll pretty much run through our driveline underneath now and re-clarify everything. Twin locked, reduction gears, high range gears. We'll run through the front end now. So what I've done to the front diff, we have solid steering arms or comp spec. So front and rear sort of tie rods, they're solid. So I don't go bend them or hit them on a rock or something and snap them in two, because then you'd be in a world of hurt. We have factory radius arms. Now, the only reason I have factory radius arms is because I've actually done flipped arms in the front. So what flipped arms does is it takes your radius arm from the bottom of your diff to the top of your diff. It helps with your articulation, it helps with your bump steer, because instead of having your arms on a nice sharp angle like that, they're more level. So when you're in turns hitting bumps and all that sort of stuff, it wants the diff to go up and down rather than back into the chassis, like rather than shooting it back up into the chassis, because all the pressure's already at that chassis mount. So yeah, the variable rate coils, they're a 200-pound variable rate Dobinson coil. They sit at about a 2-inch just because of the weight in the front that I've got. So I've put a coil spacer in, 30mm coil spacer, just to get it up that little bit taller, just to get your approach angle better, and also to sit more level with the rear of the car. So we got Superior 2.0 remote res shocks in the front and the rear. They are both to suit 7-inch lift, because I wanted the maximum travel I could have. With the 37s, I don't have much up travel as it is anyway, so it sort of works perfectly with that. Also in the front end, you would have seen, because you hopefully would have watched the previous video to this, I have chromoly axles, 300M RCVs. In the front, I kept blowing CVs because of the bigger tyres, and that's what happens. That's sometimes a part of full driving. You got to break things to work out what you need to repair, what you need to have. So we've got the chromoly CVs with the splined hubs on the front. If you don't know what my splined hubs are, go watch my previous video, because I went through a little section in that, installing them and showing you how they work and what they do. They're actually an awesome idea. It takes a lot of load off the axle studs and all that sort of stuff. It sort of shares the load way better than having a factory setup. Rear diff, we have a 4-inch Dobinson coil as well. I believe it's 150 kilos because I don't have any draw setups or anything in the rear. We have chromoly axles in the rear, 300M as well. Same thing as the front, we have the splined hubs. As for uppers and lower arms in the rear, I have Dobinson arms. I got them off Roadrunner. The lowers are 11mm longer than factory, so they're to suit anything above a 2-inch lift. And then the uppers are adjustable to make sure your pinion suits what you need it to be. We also have 7-inch remote res shocks from Superior in the rear as well. They're good to sort of help with comfort the best you can. If I was going to do it again and I was going to build something right again, I would go to 2.5s and then get your shocks tuned to your car, to your weight, and at least that way you can get it riding really, really nice. This ride's pretty good as it is, but you could always make it nicer. As for the bar work, front to rear, so you got bull bar, sliders, scrub rails, rear bar, rear tyre swing. I made all of that myself at home. Now, I'm no boilermaker, I'm no mechanic. I'm just a person that likes to have a go, to be honest. I made all of that at home with a hydraulic bender, one of the, like the jack style bender. I made all the tube work with that and notched it by literally using cardboard, sort of tracing it on the cut and cutting it with a grinder and then polishing it back. Very long, very hard. If you had the right tools, it'd be so much simpler. But I enjoyed just tinkering around with my car. So I literally made everything. It's been through a couple variants of how everything looks, but I'm actually sitting pretty happy with how it does look now. The only thing I need to do is take the bar work off and repaint it, because it's been through a bit of hell and it needs a bit of a freshen up. We have Dirty Life messes in a Neg 38. The reason I went with Neg 38 is I wanted the widest stance I could get without going stupid crazy, make it feel a bit more stable on the ground. Trying to keep it planted is the best way. So I went with the black rim. I actually got these second hand, but this is the color scheme I wanted anyway. I didn't want the black beadlock ring because I knew I was going to scratch it. And with a black ring, when you scratch it, it looks absolutely ugly. You can see the scratches everywhere. Or you could just go full chrome. I'm obviously like black, as you can see. So that's why I went with the black rim rather than the polished look. Tyres, we've got a Nitto Trail Grappler MT. They're a 37 by 12.5 R17, which is your rim size 17. They have been actually a pretty good tyre, a pretty unbelievable tyre. I've been through a few different tyre types and these are up there with one of my favourites. The only other tyre I'd sort of compare them with at the moment are the Toyo Open Country MTs, which are made by the same people. So you can sort of see where they work out. They're a pretty good tyre. They're pretty well wearing, which is awesome. Now the winch up the front is an X-Bull 14.5. It's actually been unbelievable. So I had a King's winch beforehand and this outweighs it tenfold. The free spool on it is so nice and smooth. You hit that free spool and it just it just falls out. It's so nice how smooth it comes out. And it's actually reasonably quick. I've really rated this winch, and if I had to buy another one, I would buy it too, because it's a pretty affordable price compared to spending $1,500 on a winch, but you're not quite spending $300 on a King's winch. It's sort of in that middle, and it's actually a very good winch. I rate it. On the front as well, we have a grill from Matt Flexi, which I think is Outback Bandits is the website. It says grouse because grouse 4x4, that's what it goes with. It suits the car awesomely and I love it. It actually suits the aesthetics of the car. I have a little light bar hidden behind the grille. It's just a King's light bar, slimline. It's actually bolted up through the grille frame, obviously wired into your high beams, which is awesome. I have a GME XRS radio, little UHF that sits in there. Obviously GME is a no-brainer. They're the industry leaders, I think, personally, in radios. That's what I've had and always used and probably always will use. None of these things that I'm currently mentioning are sponsors. This is just my personal opinion, and this is what I think. And me wheeling, I've only been doing it for 2 years maybe, and this is just the things I've learned by just getting out there and having a go. As for in the car, I have a center console fridge, which I've only brought recently. It's a Mike Coolman, just for drinks and stuff. King's drawer fridge in the rear. I do have a Bushman's upright fridge as well for when I do my big trips, but when I do my little weekenders and stuff, I just use the drawer fridge. It runs off 200 amps of lithium that I've got in the back, and then I use an Enerdrive DC to DC charger, I think it is. An Enerdrive DC charger, 40 amp, so that gives me plenty of charge. So I have a 4-inch Snorkel as well, which is from Terrain Tamer. I actually picked that up secondhand, which was nice and cheap too, which is good. And it made the car look a whole heap better than what it did before with the plastic old school safari style one. Helps it breathe a bit better. I do need to get an air box, which is one of my upgrades to do, but that's not really going to affect my forward driving. And we also have the rock lights. So I have 8 rock lights from Oxbeam. They're actually pretty cool. They're very bright, and they're a very bright LED party light. I know every rock light could probably do much the same, but I'm happy with them. So I do run a factory sway bar. The rear sway bar, what I've done with that is extended the sway bar mounts. The lower you can get the sway bar angle, the better it will operate off-road. One, it keeps it manners on-road better, and 2, the rear sway bar actually helps make the front work off-road. So extending your sway bar mounts so it handles better and also makes it articulate better rather than binding it up and holding it. Excuse the background change. We had to change scenery because where I was is pretty much the local spot for all the dirt bikes to get dropped off. So they were being pretty noisy and whatnot. So I had to leave. And we're now looking at this beautiful view out the back here. Might be a bit better of a change of scenery anyway, I reckon. So yeah, guys, I highly recommend Just Race Parts gauges. I love them. I couldn't fault them. And if I actually went to buy new gauges again, I would 100% not look past Just Race Parts. Hopefully we'll be getting some more gauges in the future. Gemma's car does need some gauges, so we'll get some more of them in the future, which will be great. Don't look at me like that.
So does your patrol.
Oh, the patrol, yeah. The patrol could get a few Just Race Parts gauges. That'd be nice. We've still got to build that, and that's going to need gauges. So they'll be exactly who I go to buy them off. So if there's anything else you guys are wanting to see or want to know about the car, let me know. Drop a comment, message me on Instagram. If you want to see a rig rundown on the 79, you can let me know. Right, guys, so that will be the end of this video, this little rig rundown I've done on the 80 series. I'm in a pretty happy place at the moment to where it is and what it's done. I can't actually think of anything I sort of need to improve. All I'm going to do is pretty much just keep getting out there and wheeling, pushing its limits, pushing my limits, finding out what the limits are, and if something breaks, we'll bring it back home, we'll fix it, and we'll do it again. I hope you have enjoyed that video, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.